Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about over there and your questions about what happened and what we're all seeing. We'll go over the events, whether or not it's realignment, which seems to be the most common question from y'all, and we'll talk about the possible outcomes from this move and what it means for the region overall. So, if you're just catching up on the news because of the hurricane, we'll provide a quick recap of recent events in the region and how it factors into the latest development. There's been a lot of low-level back and forth between Israel and forces inside Lebanon. Things have been getting hotter in the recent weeks, with the pager and walkie-talkie operations and a rolling escalation. On Friday, Israeli forces conducted a strike. The next day, it was reportedly confirmed that Nasrallah was taken off the board during the operation. The importance of Nasrallah cannot be overstated. He was the Secretary General of Hezbollah. He's been the leader for decades, a little more than 30 years. He was responsible for the overall command and held a lot of political connections. An operation targeting him was ambitious to say the least. He often delivered his messages via video to protect against this possibility. Beyond Nasrallah, recent Israeli operations have disrupted the top 3 or 4 tiers of Hezbollah's leadership. This has led to that common question: is this a realignment operation? There will be a video down below explaining what that is in detail, but the short version is that it's where an establishment force attempts to shape their opposition through the selective removal of certain leaders in hopes of transforming them into a more politically oriented and therefore peaceful group. The short answer is that this does not look like a realignment operation. It looks as though Israeli forces are targeting the entire command and control of Hezbollah, meaning a decap operation against their entire leadership structure. This is generally a strategy used against conventional militaries. Hezbollah's organization is not conventional. However, because of its strength, it may have been viewed as one during planning. So, the organization is in disarray, and that's the headline. This seems like it would automatically mean a major victory for the Israeli side, and it might be. It might take time for the council to officially decide on a new leader, and for that new leader to truly begin to assert control. The alternative is that because the entire leadership structure has been disrupted, the organization fractures into smaller groups under unknown leaders, and each faction starts using different tactics and strategies. This fracturing may not take place officially, and all of the various factions may continue to operate under the same banner. At this point, there's no way to know how exactly this will shake out. There's a lot of variables at play. On the wider scene, the loss of Nasrallah will be a huge issue for Iran. Their goals aligned, and he was a key player in Iran's regional strategy. The other common question is whether or not this raises tensions in the region, more than you can imagine. However, an increase in tensions doesn't necessarily mean an escalation to a wider regional conflict, at least not immediately, especially with one of the more powerful organizations in the region suffering from a leadership vacuum. The end result of this is that Israel likely obtained a period of time to press their advantage, but it's unlikely to result in the end of Hezbollah. Iran will likely want to respond, and probably will in some fashion at some point, but it seems unlikely that they press to full confrontation right now. The key part of that is unlikely, not impossible. The situation has grown a lot more risky when it comes to wider escalation, but that will depend on the events over the next week. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.